All right, well, my name's Steve Ottens. I own Old Iron Kustoms. We do upholstery work for hot rods, customs, classics, pretty much anything. I do specialize in old school stuff, so
yeah.
We went out for a ride earlier in my Gasser, so it's a 1950 Chevy Coupe. I picked it up as a bit of a basket case. So my buddy Grant, who lives just out of town here, he had it. He picked it up in a swap, and he calls me and he says, "Steve, I got a project for you. It's a 1950 Chevy Coupe." And I've always liked Gassers, right? So I'm thinking, Gasser, but I don't need another project. And he says, $200. And I said, oh, I do need another project. So that's how the Gasser came to be, right? So got it home. I had some money left over from selling my previous car. So I thought, okay, I'm going to order the sheet metal because the rockers were gone, inner and outer rockers, about 6 inches in on the body was gone. The floor mounts, 3 on each side, were gone. The rear quarters were gone. Below the trunk lid was rotted, and inside the trunk was rotted, 2 of them. So ordered everything up, borrowed a buddy's rotisserie, and so that car came off the frame, went on the rotisserie, and fixed everything that needed fixing, right?
Yeah.
So my idea was, the car was originally green. It had been painted baby blue, and I really liked the baby blue, but someone tried their form of patina on it, and there was like silver streaks of paint, yellow, greens, and it just looked horrid. So I spent hours in the evening wet sanding that car to get rid of all of that 1200 grit, and just sanding to get rid of it. And I didn't want to break through the baby blue. So yeah, it just started and kept evolving. I kind of had a vision in mind, and I, as we talked earlier, I said I wanted an early 60s theme Gasser, right? So I'm like, then I got to find period correct parts. So that's when the search began, and I just, put word out there to friends, some of my clients, and the car slowly evolved that way, and trying to think of all the work here I did on it and the pieces I got. But the front axle, it actually came out of a 1950 Chevy truck. So I wanted to stick with that whole old school theme. And the neat thing is, on that car, the frame at the front, it tapers, right, from the firewall to the rad. And on the Chevy trucks, it did the same. So the leaf springs are actually mounted to the axle, narrower on the front, wider on the back. And when I slid that underneath, I'm like, oh my goodness, it matches right up with my frame. So, but I needed to extend the frame about 3 inches. So I found another car that was trashed, cut the frame horns off, and lengthened these frame horns 3-4 inches, and that way it looks factory still, and put it all in. So everything on that car is like 60s and down as far as parts go, right? For those who understand Gassers and what they were back then, the Olds Pontiac rear end in it, American Olds Pontiac, 9.3 inch, the 4-speed transmission, Super T10.
Wasted all my money all on you, honey. Baby, will you
So I wanted the engine, I wanted a 327 in it. There's a 350 in it now, but I have the 327 on the floor. It's just about ready to go in maybe this fall. So bored it 30 over, so if you saw on the side of the car it said 331, so that's 30 over 327. So with the Gasser, they had classes, right? So they had A/G, so they had like A, B, C, D, and it went down. And how they figured out the class, it was taking the engine cubic inch and dividing it into the weight of the car.
Okay.
So you had to, even if it was a 327, if it was bored over, it's a bigger cubic inch engine now, so it's stated on the side. So that was, you know, something I wanted to put on the car as well. And on the side, behind the back window, I got C/G on there, so C gas. And so with the Gassers, they basically started in the late 50s, and they evolved along the way. I think they quit in the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s, but an original Gasser, it was a gas class, so the car had to run on gasoline, and but they had to be a street-driven car. So, and they couldn't be really modified that much back then. I think early on, to the NHRA rules, you could put a different engine in it, but it had to be like a factory produced engine. So they could do that. And as things changed, like all of a sudden it's like, okay, now you can put bucket seats in them, but they have to be from a factory built car. So, you know, that's where the Impala seats came in. And yeah, as they evolved, they eventually became an all-out race car in the 60s. In the 60s, it was known as, late 60s, like Gasser Wars, right? So, but I didn't want to build it as a late 60s, which most people, when they think about Gassers, that's what they see. So paint was really fancy. You know, the rims were really nice. A little more money involved in it. And I wanted more of the early feel where it's like a bunch of buddies got together, got some pieces, put the car together, let's go racing on the weekend. No fancy rims, couldn't afford that, right? So just, hey, this is what we got, let's go, let's have fun. So that was the whole idea. Out of all the cars I've played with, this has been like the most fun car for me. Just, I don't know, I've always loved Gassers.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And, just the rawness of it, it's pretty cool. The louder pipes and the shifting gears, like a 4-speed in a Gasser is a must.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
It's just a blast, right? It's kind of hard not to drive it hard.
Yeah.
About 10 minutes down here, eh?
Nice.
Way too much fun shifting gears.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
I like having themes to my cars. Like I don't ever just jump into it. It's like I want a theme. I kind of have a vision. You know, the vision changes a little bit, but you know, for the most part, I like to stick with what I got. So. Yeah, and then from there it just evolved. More parts came in, more vintage parts came in, and I was like, oh, sweet, like this will work great for that. And told you about like the headers, you know, original stall headers from the 60s. The same guy had the bell housing that was the original NHRA Anson bell housing, or scatter shield, I guess you would call it. So many cool pieces in the car, and I forget sometimes how many things have gone into it, right? But as you walk around it and see it, you kind of start getting that idea, right? I was at a car show a couple weeks ago, and a guy came up to me and he's like, "So, did you build this, or is this a survivor?" And I was like, "Thank you." I said, "That's what I wanted to hear from somebody. If somebody thinks it's a survivor, that was kind of the idea behind the whole build, right? Is to make it look that way." So, yeah, it's been a cool car to build. Took me about, I think, 5 or 6 years. Okay, so, yeah, time goes by way too fast, right? So yeah, it's been good. I'll run her for a while. I don't know. I might sell it down the road. I tend to not get too attached to my cars, and I'll see something else and be like, "Ooh, that'd be fun to build," right? So, yeah.
The hood rat, the name and the...
Oh, the hood rat, yeah. So that came from, said, a buddy of mine sitting down one day in his shop, and we didn't have a car club, so, but always wanted a plaque, and I thought, we got to come up with a name so we can put these plaques on our car. And he had an old skateboard sitting in his shop, and on the back side of it said Hood Rat, and I thought, well, that's just a perfect name for a car group. And the area we lived in, we called it the Hood, so Hood Rat just seemed to fit just perfectly. And at that time, we were a small group, maybe 6 guys hanging out, and we're up to about, I think we're getting close to 20 guys we hang out, so just friends and stuff. But yeah, with that, I thought, when I got the car, I'm like, the car needs a name, because every gasser needs to have a name, right? So Hood Rat came up, and it's a little sentimental to me, just because my buddy Al, we came up with the name, and he passed away, and we were pretty good friends, and it's always a little bit of a memory for me. So yeah, that's a tough goal. So but yeah,
that's awesome.
Well, the hood scoop, when we were talking about driving in the car, so that was I was looking for a certain hood scoop. And a customer came in, and we're talking, and I'm like, you know, this is what I'm looking for. I would like to find this kind of a hood scoop. And he kind of smirked at me, and I'm like, oh, you bugger, you got one, don't you? And he chuckled, he laughed, he says, I do. And I said, well, you want to sell it? And he's, well, I'm selling the truck, so if I sell the truck, I'll sell you the hood scoop, but if I'm keeping the truck, I'm keeping the hood scoop. So he ended up selling me the hood scoop, so that's what's on the truck now. So the year that's from is 53 to 56 Ford truck, and I think it was off of the 2 tons or bigger. So yeah, so you know, I got a few stories like that where friends have had things, and you're looking, and they just give you that sheepish grin, like they have it and they got one over you, right? Like, what are you gonna do to get this? Right? It's like, are you buggers? Yeah. So I do interiors. So when I was thinking of this one, I kind of was like, okay, what do I want to do here? That era, tuck and roll was big, diamond stitch was big. I was leaning towards diamonds, but I thought, well, let's just put it out there. So social media put it out. Hey, what do you guys think? Took a poll, and the diamond stitch won. So I was kind of like, yes. Yeah. So because I do like it. So yeah, I kept it very, well, it's not simple, but in a sense it is. It's just everything's diamonds. No back seat in the car, so just wanted to eliminate that. It didn't have a back seat, so I'm like, I'm not going to search for one. I'll keep that simple. And actually, the coupes, if it was a businessman coupe, it never did come with the back seat. So that wasn't a businessman's coupe, but most people just think it is, so without the back seat. So yeah, so just did a nice diamond stitch in it and turned out really nice. I like the look of it. Went with black because black would have been pretty common, right? Guys weren't too keen on colors, so they just picked black. With Gassers, later on in the 60s, cars started to get a little whizzier and you'd see a lot brighter interiors. Metal flakes started to get introduced, right? And so I had thought of going with that and doing like a metal flake roof on top, like a blue metal flake, but then I would have had the body work, the whole thing, and metal flake to sit on, it's hot. Like it's a nasty fabric or vinyl to sit on, so yeah. I wasn't going to do any metal flake on the inside, so I thought, no, I'm sticking to black. Added the white piping in the interior just to break it up, because all black is kind of pretty boring. You don't get to see the lines, so being an upholsterer, it's kind of something I look at. So, the floor mat in that car. I wanted to find an old transparent floor mat, right? Like okay. In the 60s they had those, and I'm like, well, good luck finding one, right? Like nobody makes them, I don't think, anymore. And so I was at a swap meet in Red Deer and just happened to see this roll of this, I think it's like a turquoise almost transparent rubber, and I'm like, that's a floor mat. So asked the guy, I says, what's that? He says, oh, that's from a 50 Oldsmobile. And I'm like, what's the chances? Chevy Oldsmobile, pretty much the same floor, right? I'm like, that's gonna fit, that's awesome. So I forget what I paid, I think it was $30 for it. So I was like, just totally stoked, tickled pink about that. And some people see it and they're like, why in the world would you put that in there, right? And I'm like, gosh, it's part of what I wanted, right? Yeah, so yeah, that was pretty cool finding that. Okay, so like I said, it's called Old Iron Kustoms. I've been doing this for about, how long now? 17 years. So I apprenticed under an old upholsterer, the car club I was with at that time. He was part of it. And the other job I was having, I was enjoying that, but I thought, it'd be kind of neat to learn upholstery, right? So I asked him and he says, yeah, I'm retired, but I do have a buddy's car that I'm finishing up. So why don't you come on down and I'll show you the ropes. Went from there, stuck with him for a while. And then I thought, you know what, it's time to get out on my own. And did that, started in my garage in town for about a year. And then a place in Strathmore came up that was quite cheap to rent. So I thought, I got to jump on that because I need more room. So rented that place for about 7 years. And then we decided, well, let's move out to the country and found this acreage and this shop. And yeah, it's been good, right? Business is steadily getting more and more. I don't advertise. I never wanted to. I do word of mouth. I feel I get good, honest customers that way because they're getting referred to me instead of just someone who read my ad and thought, I'll give them a call. So I've been lucky that way. I've had really great customers, repeat customers. In the hot rod world, everybody's got another project, right? So they're not just one-time customers. They're, maybe down the road they have another car. I have some people who are pretty steady with their builds, and there's another one going. So it just keeps building, right? So every year on the books it tells me that anyway. So it's not, it's about their car, how they found it, and and then you're a part of that build at the end of it, because typically I'm the end of the line. with the upholstery, right? And you get to see a finished car complete, and that's part of what I love, right? Like you finish and then you get to take pictures or a video of this finished car, and it's like, that's so cool, right? I get to enjoy it before even the customer does, right? Like I see the final result before they do, and it's cool. It's neat to see them come through the door, and then you open the vehicle up and they're just like, whoa, if they haven't seen it finished like in the stages. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I love that part of it. I love seeing their faces, and just some of them are like just quiet and trying to take it all in, right? And other ones are like, oh my goodness, I can't believe the difference, right? So it's cool. It's a rewarding job, right? I really feel rewarded doing it, right? And putting that kind of happiness into someone's life and completing their car. So
did you want to talk about your plans for the Model T at all, or?
yeah, so it's been a long project. Had it now for 7 years, I think I was saying, and got it to the rolling chassis stage. The frame I kind of built but didn't. I wanted like a Model A style frame on it, but I wanted it a little longer in the front, so you're not notching the firewall to put the engine in. Yeah, so I set it up for small block Chevy, but that tilt deck sitting, or tilt cab sitting outside, it's a 64. It's got a 348 W block in it, so the smaller of the 409 kind of thing. So that's going, and it'll just fit. So they're about, with the short water pump and everything, 2 inches longer. So I'm just going to be able to squeak it in there. But it's a little more nostalgic of an engine, so it'll have a tri-power on it as well. So yeah, he's got the intake and carbs for it as well. So that'll be cool. Chopped the roof, 5 1/4 inches. So yeah, it's going to be kind of a 50s, early 60s type hot rod build. So I got a 50 Ford steering wheel in it out of a car. The tail lights are going to be 50 Ford, and I'll be putting front hubcaps from a 50 Ford on it. So I got true chrome reverse on the back that I got from a friend of mine. So yeah, it'll be a neat. I was going to have a standard in it, decided to go with an automatic, just easier. I want to make it more of a cruiser, so just get in, put it in gear, and just drive, right? So yeah, it'll be fun. I'm looking forward to getting back onto it. So right now I put a 31 Pontiac dash in it.
Oh, okay, cool.
Because the Model T dash is just, it's ugly. There's nothing nice about it, right? So again, another friend of mine. So it's good to have friends, right?
Yeah, for sure. No, well, I really appreciate you letting me come out here and take a look at the Gasser.
Yeah, no, that was fun. That was good. Good spot out there. Hopefully everything turns out well. Yeah. Worked out good.
Sweet redemption, I will never let you down.